All right, hello YouTube. Hope everybody's doing well. Today we have a siege for you. This is from Monday the 20th. We had SINfullyDEEP and BuiltNotBought. I did go to day 2, so pretty fun one. Let's talk about how I did in this siege. I wasn't streaming, obviously, so this is all from in-game replays. I will just talk about them as I rewatch them now, see if I notice anything I didn't notice live. First up, we have Garo and versus this Carcano, Rahul, and Triana. Idea is, as always, kill the Carcano and then kill the rest of the team, and then the whole team will be dead, and the little victory screen will pop up. Nothing too scary here. Like, what would we be worried about? Like a trapped Carcano, maybe? Or what if the Rahul despair stunned my whole team? But like, I mean, this is pretty clean. That worked pretty well. Up next, we get to do the same offense again because we had a couple towers early on that we wanted to beat quickly. And I was actually playing at the beginning of Siege and not waiting until my normal stream time because I wasn't streaming. So next one up is an Al-sharian one. We're doing the same thing. My Rauk is very passionate there. It feels very strongly that the Triana should not have any more turns in this fight. And again, the team just works kind of like it's supposed to, so nothing to worry about there. This Al-sharian tries to get back at my Rauk, but my Rauk is actually on HP slot 6, so he tanks it just fine. If I had an attack rune that was faster, I would use it, but I don't, so I have not. Up next, everybody's favorite team, and the first thing I'm noticing watching this replay is probably the most important thing. I got to apologize. I didn't realize that I had not put the transmog on my 4th Windy. So that mistake will be corrected by the time you see it again. We'll get that transmog for that poor Windy. He does such a good job in this fight and every fight that he's in. Obviously, if you have watched my stream or my videos, you've seen this offense before. It's just really tanky. It's just not going to die to these defenses. Really good against Carcano Triana +1 or Carcano Tyrannus +1. I don't use this offense, or I try not to use this offense against Savannahs, and I definitely never use this offense against Fukis. So in case you're trying to like adapt this to other teams, like, you're never going to see me use this against a Fuki, and you're probably not going to see me use this against a Savannah unless I'm desperate. That's a sign that I have given up hope, and I'm just using the offense against a team and hoping that it works. We'll have a fight like that at the end of this video, but for now, we still have all of our counters and all of our fun teams. If we had this team at the end of this video, it would have gone really well. But like many people, I am waiting to build more Lulus until balance patch notes. Patch notes should be out next week. Comtua said so in a recent update notice. They said they would put the balance patch notes out in the last week of September, and that the balance patch would actually occur in early October. So everybody's waiting to see what they will do. Everyone's looking at you, Comtua. If Lulu gets nerfed, then we'll have to see some exciting new Siege offenses, and nobody wants that. They just want to see me win, right? Right? Nobody actually cares that I spend this much time. Anyway, I didn't talk much about this defense because this defense didn't do much. I just kind of killed it. What do we got next? Next we have a Molong Fuki defense. I'm going in with my Tessarian Lulu +1. This is my favorite counter for Molong Fuki defenses. Tessarian with some water damage reduction is a fantastic tank for Molong. You see his skill 3 does like 35% of my health bar maybe. The wind monster in this can be pretty much anything you want. Ethan is a really solid choice. So is Savannah. Ciara is pretty good. If you want to go free to play, you could try something like Yen maybe, but Yen doesn't have all the same tools. Like, Yen doesn't bring her own defense break, stuff like that. Anyway, this one went really smoothly. Oh, I do, all 10 of my attacks today are against Sinfully Deep. Sinfully Deep is a very strong guild. I'd say they're definitely top 5, right? I don't think it's controversial to call Sinfully Deep top 5 global. Very strong. They destroyed my old guild in the last tournament. Next up we have Carcano, Molly, Triana. Bit of an oopsie here. This Triana doesn't have any runes on it. So very sorry to whoever's defense this is if your guildies find this video. But you can just tell them that you weren't going to win anyway. You can see here in the first few turns that I didn't notice when I first started this fight that Triana was unruned. It's not until I attacked the Triana and I'm like, oh wait, why did my Windy do a third of her health bar in damage? Either this Triana is attack, crit damage, attack, and it's about to crit me for 20,000 damage, or maybe it just doesn't have any runes on it. Turns out it was the second one. That is an unruned Triana. But, you know, just to save face for this player, I was going to beat it anyway. We can just go with that, right? Really, it was a gift to the YouTube viewers because they don't have to watch the whole as long of a fight, right? Because these fights go long. I guess not doing it live is also a gift to YouTube because the in-game replay feature will not save the entire fight if the fight goes very long. So you'll see probably a couple in this siege. I don't know if it's going to happen here or not, where the replay just stops, but it tells you that I won the fight. This is a Destroy Carcano. Destroy Carcano in this defense, it seems like the best option against my specific offense that I'm running here, because I almost lost to it a couple fights from now. Not this fight, though. And also, only almost. We'll talk about that when we get there. So, Triana was free because she didn't have runes. Molly went down as well. Now we just have a Carcano who is not able to get through our Windy. The sad Carcano. Who do we have next? I don't remember. Oh, it's the exact same thing. So, same team. It's going to go the same way. Well, not the exact same way because I do try to target Molly first when the Triana actually has runes on it, usually. I don't know. I'm still playing around with what I want my targeting to be because I usually, honestly, I make up my decision when I get into the fight and I see how much damage his Carcano and Triana are doing. His Carcano is pretty weak, offense-wise. It's not doing very much damage to our Windy, and that makes me immediately make the decision that I don't need to worry about his Carcano. I don't plan to ever hit it until it's the last thing left alive, probably. Or at least until his Molly's dead. He also doesn't have any destroy runes on his Carcano, so there's just really no reason for me to care about it. He can just sit there the entire game. All I have to worry about is making sure that he never gets a defense break to stick on my Lulu. I say as my Lulu gets defense broken, but we had the cleanse, so it's fine. Looks like either the Molly or the Triana is on destroy, but I don't think that's going to matter. This is how I kind of usually play this offense. I just try to go straight through the Molly. If I do see that either the Carcano or the Triana is doing more damage than I'm used to, I'll switch targets and try to, you know, at least control them with a slow debuff that'll reduce the Triana damage, or by stunning the Carcano with my tractor. That makes the fight take a lot longer, though. These fights last anywhere between like 5 and 15 minutes, maybe. Probably not. I don't think it's ever actually gone 15 minutes. I like to joke about how long it takes, but it's usually about like 10 minutes maximum. Which is a long time for one fight in Summoner's War. I will grant you that. I don't think you're going to get to see this entire fight. The replay is probably going to cut out soon. But we do win. It's pretty safe. We've almost got his Molly killed here, and he's just not done enough to cause us to lose this. My Lulu takes 4 turns because my Lulu's a champion. His Molly takes, I don't know how many turns that was. It doesn't really matter. It's just delaying the inevitable. All right, we win, but you don't get to see the rest of the replay. You can probably assume what happened. Next up is Neat. This is the one that we almost lost. So his Carcano is pretty high damage compared to all the other Carcanos we fought, and it's on Destroy. Maybe it's not that much higher damage now that I'm watching the replay. It felt like it was higher damage because it destroyed so much HP. You're not going to get to see this entire fight, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because my offense almost lost here. At the end of the fight, my Windy's HP was destroyed probably 55%. And so you can see that I've started punching his Carcano because I'm already afraid of what he's doing to my Windy because I can see all the destroy effects and the damage he's putting out. So when he's not in stance, I'm hitting him with my tractor. I'm also hitting his Triana because I think that he is built on more damage than the last one we fought. What was I trying to say? Oh yeah, so the end of the fight, my Windy's like 55% destroyed. I have less than half of my initial max HP. And the Molly's still alive at that point. It's almost dead, but it's not quite... I can't quite finish the Molly. And I start realizing, and this is a lesson learned for me, that my Windy is on a lot of additional damage by HP. And I realize that his damage is going down as this fight goes on. Because the more my HP gets destroyed, the less damage those artifacts on him are doing. And I became very scared that I wasn't going to have the damage to kill the Molly because of that. I ended up having the damage and we win the fight, so no problems. But I am probably going to look for different artifacts for my Windies where I focus more on additional damage by speed and defense and less on HP. Because HP seems fantastic until you realize that there's going to be destroy runes involved in a lot of your fights, especially in the fights that you might not win. So that's our lesson learned from this. We almost lost to Neat. Although Neat has very strong runes. I've said on my stream, Neat is the guy that 2 tournaments ago we fought SINfullyDEEP in my old guild Exile Mercs, and I lost 2 attacks to Neat's 4-star defense. So we get a little bit of revenge on him today. And now I think I've said everything I want to say, so the replay is just going to end abruptly. It's going to tell you that I won. It's not going to show you how. I already explained how. Next up, we have another Carcano, Gianna, and Triana. So I'm going in with the same team you probably saw in my last video. It's like Malite Vigor Lulu, but instead of Lulu, we get to thankfully use another monster and keep our Lulus for other attacks. So we've got our Tetra here. So we have less healing than you would in the Lulu team, but Tetra nullifies basically all of Gianna's bombs because no bomb can ever explode on our Malite or our Tetra because of Tetra moving before Malite can ever get 2 turns. And it'll only explode on our Vigor if our Vigor Violent procs into the explosion. So we have a cleanse, so we can just cleanse it occasionally. So this Triana defense, until I see it beat this offense, I'm not going to be a huge fan of it. I personally struggle more with the Ciara Rauk Gianna defense as far as Gianna defenses go. But like, people have a lot of practice against that one at this point too. So who's to say what a good defense is? Everybody has counters for everything these days. I'm continuing with my kind of new philosophy of never killing the Carcano first. Which, I'm not sure if that... I'm starting to second guess my philosophy. Like, I want to kill... Like, in this one, I'm not second guessing it, because killing Gianna makes it so that I can put up my buffs and not worry about her stunning my entire team. So it's great to kill Gianna. But, later on, our last fight of the siege, I wonder if maybe attacking Carcano would have changed things, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But now we just get to watch me win, because winning fights is good. Went ahead and cleansed off the sleep on our Vigor there. I'm just trying to kill something. I'm killing Carcano now just because it's faster. Just the faster, or I thought it would be faster. The faster we get to kill something, the sooner we get to move on to the next fight. There goes Triana passive. She procs into her heal. Standard Triana stuff. We've all seen it. Doesn't get her passive back in time though. So now we can just hit the auto button and walk away. Which I must have done, or else my Tetra would have cleansed that sleep off my vigor there. So I probably did hit the auto button and walk away on this one. Let's see how many turns that bomb gets up to by the end, if we can get some Tetra violent procs here. I did throw her on a violent set. It's nice when you get the bomb up to 10 turns and the number goes away. Just a satisfying thing. I need to find some faster offenses, huh? I run out of things to talk about in these YouTube voiceovers like halfway through the fight. I can't fill time with my Twitch chat. Okay, we win. Hooray. We've done it again. What's next? Is it tractor? No, it's not. Okay, so we have another one of these Molong defenses, and this offense seems like about the safest thing in the world to me. So Talc is a very good tank for Fuki. This Talc has both wind and water damage reduction, because he has to tank, you know, two things here. But Talc's passive is great for cutting Fuki's damage in half. The only problem with that is that you really have to have good runes on your Talc. You can't have Talc tank on a third hand set of runes, because his ability to tank is determined by making sure that the Fuki damage is never more than, what, 20% of your max HP, or I think it's 20%. So put your Talc on some good runes and he'll do a great job tanking Fuki and Molong in a lot of cases. This isn't my favorite against the Ollie team. I do usually go for Tessarian and Lulu against the Molly versions of this. But against this one with the Iris, it felt like this team would probably never die. Especially with how, you know, Ciara can stack bombs that won't get cleansed off on the Fuki. So it's pretty easy to get 2 bombs on the Fuki before they detonate, and you'll never have to deal with Fuki at low HP, because you can just take him from high HP to no HP with a double bomb from Ciara. So maybe I'll test this one against the Molly team and see how I think it does. But it's not going to work as well as it does against this Iris team. That's for sure. What's next? Okay. So this is our last attack. And, so I've got a few things to say about this one. First of all, there is no valid excuse for what I did here. This offense is not good. It's not going to beat this defense. Maybe if I got lucky, we could get a win here. So like I said, there is no valid excuse for what I'm doing right here. I'm just throwing away my 10th sword directly into the garbage. But here's the story behind that. So now it's day 2 of Siege. And we're not free for all yet, because while we have basically beaten SINfullyDEEP at this point, the 3rd guild, BuiltNotBought, still has like 90 attacks left, and that is enough that they could potentially decide to ruin our day if we had just used all the rest of our swords. So we're still not free for all, because they're still sitting on so many attacks over there. So there's only one thing that I can hit. This tower opened. It's 12:40 p.m. I have a meeting for work in 20 minutes, and I will be in that meeting until after Siege ends. So this tower's open. It's the only thing I'm allowed to hit. And I have a couple guildies who are attacking this tower, and they still have like 7 attacks left. So they definitely have counters for this. So if I don't go into this fight right now, I'm probably not going to get to use my 10th attack. And I went in with this team, and I was like, hey, I can see this working maybe. That's a lie. That was a lie. I just lied to myself. Don't believe it, chat. or YouTube, whoever I'm talking to right now, myself, I think. I'm mad at myself. I'm sad at myself about this. Don't believe it. You might say, Howdy, isn't it better to just not use your last attack if you're just gonna lose anyway? To which I would say, yeah, you're right. But apparently I wasn't thinking too much when I did this. I guess I could say that this is my second vigor. We saw my first vigor earlier in the video, and this second one does not have skill ups. So if it did, we probably could have had another skill 3, like right around now. Could have killed the Celia with it. Maybe something good happens, but like, I opened this by saying that there's no valid excuses, so I want to be very clear. Don't do this. You can't just make excuses to get out of it. I screwed this one up bad. And now my record in SSA for Siege is 29-1 because we just threw this one away. It's very sad. But I'm gonna make myself sit here and watch the whole thing. I think that it probably would have been easier if we had a 6th Lulu. I think that this probably would have been easier if I had taken some time to think about and rune up a different counter for it. Like, really, I just shouldn't be here with this team. This team happened to have runes on it, and I was in a rush to get my attack in, so I decided to place my attack into the garbage. We lose that one, deservedly. 9-1 today. Fun fight, though. SINfullyDEEP's a really strong guild. So, I think we're rank 4 after this one. Maybe we'll get some other interesting guilds. Like, SINfullyDEEP is like one of the top 5 guilds, right? So, always fun to fight them. We'll see who we get on Thursday. And, I'll probably be streaming that one, so might not get the YouTube voiceover. Thank you for watching, YouTube. I appreciate you. I never say this because everyone memes about it, but if you want to subscribe to the YouTube, that would be cool. If I get enough subscribers, they pay me money, and I like money. So if you want notifications and other annoyances, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. That's it for me. I will see you in the next one.